You've read the parenting books, you've tried the tips and tricks, but what if the missing piece is actually written in the stars? Imagine knowing exactly how your child processes stress, seeks connection, and expresses love without guessing. That's the power of parenting through the lens of astrology. And once you see it, you will not parent the same way again. Let me show you why this is an absolute game changer. Whether you're a parent yourself, or you hope to be a parent one day, or you're just reflecting on how you were raised, parenting is the single most significant influence on a child's development. And whether the influence that you experienced from your parents was nurturing or challenging, it impacted who you are today. And that's why parenting matters so much. Here's something powerful that I want to share with you. Studies from Harvard show that 90% of a child's brain development is already complete by the age of 5. And the CDC reports that positive parenting practices can reduce mental health issues in adulthood by more than 40%. This means that all of the love, the attention, the patience, and even the mistakes we make, they ripple forward into adulthood. And mistakes are a normal part of the process. We're human, and making mistakes is the name of the game. The most important thing that matters is, after you make a mistake, how do you repair the rupture in the fabric of the relationship with your child? That's what matters more than anything else. Parenting builds a child's sense of who they are, what they believe they're capable of, and whether or not they believe the world is a safe place where they can be themselves authentically. But here's the tricky part. What works for one child might be exactly the wrong approach for another. Even siblings can have completely different emotional needs. And many people believe that children don't come with instruction manuals. But I've got a secret for you. They actually do come with instruction manuals. The planetary placements at the time of your child's birth play a really big part in determining the signature of the energetic frequency that your child carries. And this is where astrology becomes such a beautiful and practical tool. Because based on the alignment of the planets in your child's natal chart, they will have a very specific set of psychological needs that must be met in order for them to grow into healthy and confident adults. Now, astrology does not label your child at all. It illuminates who they are at a soul level. So, for example, a child with a Taurus moon will need consistency, comfort, and stability in order to feel safe. And a child with a Gemini moon will need conversation, movement, and stimulation to thrive. But if we try to raise a Gemini moon child like a Taurus moon child or vice versa, we end up misunderstanding their needs, even with the best intentions. So, astrology helps us to parent the child that we have, not the child that we imagined that we were going to have, or the one that we were told that we should have. When we parent with awareness, we create emotionally resilient children. A recent study found that children who experienced responsive parenting, which means that parents tuned into their child's unique needs, they had 25% stronger emotional regulation by the age of 7. And that's not just good for childhood, that's the foundation for healthy adulthood. And here's the beautiful part. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present and choosing to truly see the person standing in front of us. How many of you, and I'm talking to those of you with more than one child or to those of you who grew up with siblings, how many of you have noticed how children can have different personalities even though they come from the same set of parents? Astrology explains those differences with incredible clarity. And here's a personal experience I want to share with you. So, when I was potty training my oldest son, it was a relatively easy process. The only problem was that he would go number one in the potty, but he still used his pull up for number two. And looking back, I think that he just had a lot of anxiety around the whole process. But I was growing more and more frustrated every day. I bought every book imaginable on potty training, and I tried every single process that I could, but nothing was working. So one day, I noticed that my husband had left one of his medical books on our coffee table, and out of the blue, I had an idea. So I picked up the large reference volume on internal medicine that my husband had used throughout his residency. And I went straight to the dermatology section, and that's where I found images on skin disorders and diseases. And I called my son over, even though he was very young, he was very intelligent. So I showed him some of the pictures, and I explained to him that it was really important that we keep his skin clean, and that the way that we were going to make sure that his skin stayed clean was by going to the potty. So he listened, and he never had an accident in his pull up after that at all. And at that point, I thought that I was like the potty training fairy. I figured out potty training, and I thought that potty training my next three children was going to be an absolute breeze. But I was shocked when I tried the same process on all three of them, and it did not work at all, not even close. And I had no idea at that time why it didn't work. Fast forward about 12 years later, and that's when I learned astrology, and I really learned how to speak to the psychological needs of my children. And that's when I had an epiphany that really brought everything home. So my oldest child, he has his moon in the sign of Virgo. The moon represents our feelings, our emotions, and how we like to be nurtured, and also what makes us feel safe. So Virgo is the sign of health, cleanliness, and hygiene. And so my son had a deep emotional need, a deep psychological need even, for hygiene, order, and cleanliness. And that's why the medical pictures worked so well for him. Now, when it comes to my other three children, none of them had their moon in the sign of Virgo. So I was not speaking their language. For example, my daughter, second born, she has her moon in the sign of Taurus. Now, Taurus is a sign that speaks to the five senses. So maybe she would have enjoyed a sweet piece of candy or a scratch and sniff sticker to really stimulate her senses. But not knowing that, I showed her the images in my husband's internal medicine textbook, and it did not work because I was not speaking her language. Now, I'm going to give you all a head start into understanding your child at a deeper level by showing you how to figure out your child's moon sign. Now, you might be thinking, why are we talking about the moon? Shouldn't we be talking about the sun? And the answer is no, because in astrology, the moon represents emotions, intuition, and the way that we seek comfort. Also, the moon represents what gives us a sense of safety and how we prefer to be nurtured. So, the sign that your child's moon is in describes how they experience and express their emotions. And for children, this is extremely important because their moon sign tells us exactly what they need in order to feel safe, nurtured, and emotionally secure. So think of it as their built-in emotional language. And understanding what your child's emotional needs are, you as a parent or a caregiver can really begin to provide what's necessary in order for them to thrive. So now let's figure out your child's moon sign. Go to my website at brandycon.com and click on the astrology tab at the top. From there, click on the Create Your Own Chart option. Enter the birth information for your child, and a list of the planets should pop up once you're finished, and you will see the moon listed with its particular or specific sign. If you're interested in learning more, you can book a natal chart session on my website. And if you're looking for a more comprehensive program, I also offer the Stellar Parenting Method, which is my signature program. So let me tell you a little bit about my program, the Stellar Parent Method. It's a 5-week journey designed to help you parent with clarity, confidence, and cosmic insight. In week 1, we start with you, the parent, and we unpack your natal chart so you can deeply understand your emotional wiring, your parenting style, and your soul patterns. In week 2, we shift the focus to your child's chart, and that will give you a really powerful lens to understand their unique temperament, their needs, and their natural gifts. In week 3, we explore the energetic dance between you and your child and how you complement each other and where you may clash, and also how to navigate those areas with grace. Week 4 is all about timing. We look at what's on the horizon for both of you, big transitions, opportunities, or challenges, so that you can feel prepared and not blindsided. And in week 5, that's my personal favorite week, we dive into subconscious rewiring. We gently release limiting beliefs that might be blocking your parenting potential, and we replace them with empowering ones so you can show up as the parent that you truly want to be. This isn't just a parenting course, it's a transformation for you and your child. Parenting is sacred work, and you don't have to do it blind. Astrology can be a compass, and it can help you to understand not just who your child is, but also who you are as a parent. And when we combine conscious parenting with cosmic insight, we don't just raise children. We grow whole, empowered human beings, and that changes everything. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your journey to conscious cosmic parenting starts now, and I'm so honored to walk this path with you.